When I commonly work with couples, what I tend to find is that both people in the relationship are not aware of what some of the deeper emotional needs are for the other individual. And I thought it might be a good idea for me to share with you some ideas and some 5 basic needs that every couple should know. So the first one that I like to talk about is the need to feel heard. Now, the need to feel heard is really provides an opportunity for two people to engage actively in listening to the other person. The major key of feeling heard is being able to acknowledge and validate what the other person is saying. Just a caveat here, it does not mean that the person has to agree with what the other person is saying. It simply implies that the person acknowledges, almost like acknowledges the receipt or the receiving of the information, processing the information, and reflecting back what the person has said. Again, just to kind of refocus on the idea that it is not agreement, it is simply acknowledging of the receiving of the information. Another one is the need to feel belong and accepted. Now, this one is really important regardless if we're just talking about romantic relationships or we're talking about just a general group. Feeling a sense of identity to the couple or to the relationship serves as an important harbinger of how that relationship will fare out with years to come. Another common one that a lot of people focus on, and specifically oftentimes come to see somebody like myself, is the need for trust. And the way to think of trust or safety is, do both individuals in the couple have faith in the consistency of the other individual? The obvious thing that comes to mind is, of course, infidelity. Infidelity is a very common reason why people come in to speak to somebody like myself, and regaining that trust. Another way of saying faith in the consistency of the other person's behavior, meaning that they won't commit adultery or continue with the infidelity, is one of the most important things that people typically work in couples therapy. Another common need that people have is feeling prioritized. Another way of saying feeling important. One question that you always want to ask yourself: do I feel important to the individual with whom I'm spending my time? If the answer is yes, that need is likely met. If the answer is no, it is definitely something that you want to address within the couple. The last one is, I don't think often gets attention in terms of as a need, but to me it's a really important one. Do you feel desired by your partner? That could be intimately, sexually, or just as a person. Do you feel like the other person wants to be around you? That's a really important question to ask that sometimes gets lost in the shuffle, but to me it is really important to look at it for if you're feeling like you're being desired, whether that's intimately or just as basically as a person, as a personhood. Another common thing that people ask is whether does a relationship have to have all of those needs met all the time? And the simple answer, of course, is not. The thing to keep in mind is, first, to be able to be aware of what the needs are. Second, you want to consider what are the most important needs that you have, and that might be 1 or 2. The biggest, the most important part is to be able to be aware of them and communicate them to the partner so that he or she is aware of what are the priority, what are the needs that need to be prioritized for that individual. If those 1 or 2 needs are being met, the other ones can receive less priority. Hopefully, reviewing some of those basic needs that we have as people, especially when we're talking about a romantic relationship, will aid you guys in your journey to fulfilling relationship. Thanks so much for joining.